It was the 11th of July. I was happily chilling at home, thinking I at least have a month more before my CUET exams. My luck has been unfavorable at times, but not so much that I get my CUET dates 3 days prior to the actual exam. By then, I had studied like 2% of the syllabus, 1 or 2 chapters from each subject, nothing from general test, nothing from language, and suddenly, out of nowhere, there come the dates. And guess what? Okay, I know that we knew that exams will start from 15th, like 10 days before only, but the thing with me is, I need to know an exact particular date in order to put some immediate pressure on myself. Otherwise, I just cannot build up my pace of studying. I was studying, but like lazily flipping through 1 or 2 pages each day, which is not enough. It's so not enough. So my combination for CUET was English from the language section, the general test, and sociology, economics, and political science in the domain subjects. And I had everything except political science on 15th itself. So initially, I cried a lot, like you would have guessed. I cried to everyone I talked to. I was like, why me? Everybody else I know has their exams in August. Why only me? And I was in short, I panicked a lot. But a little while later, when I calmed down a bit, I thought to myself, okay, I have 2 options right now. I can either cry about it, or I can try to give in my 100% in the next 3 days. And if 14 years of education in an ICSE school has taught me anything, it is how to finish studying your entire syllabus the night before exams. So I decided to do the latter. So I thought, there's nothing we can do about language right now. So let's keep language aside and let's hope that it's not too tough. And same goes for general test too, right? It's unending. There's no limit to what you can study for GT. So there's no point even starting to study for it in such less time. So I decided to focus all my limited time into the 2 domain subjects. In socio, we had 2 books with 9 to 10 chapters in each. And on day 1, I picked up the first book. I started studying at 8 a.m. in the morning. I gave an hour, maximum an hour, 20 minutes to each chapter. And by 6 or 7 p.m. in the evening, I was pretty much done. In economics, we had Indian economy and macroeconomics. And macro I had studied in class 12. Not from NCERT, but the concepts were more or less the same. So I decided to revise what I knew already first. And at night, I just flipped through my class 12 notes and tried to revise as many chapters as I could before finally calling it a day. On day 2, I picked up the Indian economy book and studied in the exact same way, about an hour for each chapter. And thankfully, my mind and my body did not give up and I was able to finish it by the end of the day. And with any time that was left, I studied the remaining part of macro. On day 3, the same grind. There was one whole book of sociology left with about 10 chapters. And I'll tell you how I studied in a way that I could retain the maximum information in my head in such less time because I had to act smart there. So the best thing about NCERT is that it's concise. There are no irrelevant points. So if you decide to read through a chapter, you know that you're not wasting your time. And that's exactly what I did. I read through each chapter very thoroughly and I underlined all the points that I thought were important. And I made very short, very precise notes. You wouldn't even call them notes as such, just bullet points in the simplest way possible. I know that note taking is not the ideal thing to do right before your exams, but that's just how it works out for me. I can't be sure about something that I've learned unless I've written it down. And it is pretty effective, if I must say so myself. On the exam day, I was so nervous. I've never been this nervous before any exam in my entire life. And if you think I'm a confident person in general based on the perception you have of me through my YouTube videos, then you should have seen me that day. I was extremely nervous. But as soon as I reached the center and I saw everybody there, I met some of my school friends, and when I saw that I'm not alone in this and there are other people who are going through the same thing that I am, I calmed down a lot. And by the time I entered the exam hall, I was pretty chilled out. So I opted for English first, and oh god, it was easy. I couldn't believe the questions. They were so easy. They literally gave us jumbled sentences. Jumbled words, and you got to make sentences from them by arranging them in proper order. There were 3 passages, and the passage-based questions were pretty much very direct. And that's all for English. If you know basic grammar till class 5th or 6th, English would have been nothing for you. In the domain subjects, all the questions were from NCERT. Some questions were kind of tricky, some questions were very direct, but everything was from the book itself, nothing from outside the syllabus, and overall it was easy, as I found it. And the general test, you wouldn't have guessed, was not that bad. I was scared about general test because I had prepared nothing, zero. I was sure that I was going to leave all the questions, but I did attempt 60 out of 75 questions, which was the limit, and it wasn't too bad. There were no current affairs, one or two. Maths and numerical ability questions were easy because I haven't studied maths since 2 years, and still I was able to solve many of them, not all of them obviously. So if you know basic maths or you had maths till class 12, then the numerical ability part of the general test is going to be easy for you based on my experience. And that was it for 15th. On 19th, I had political science, which was only one subject, and I had 3 days for it, which is nothing compared to what I had just done. So I studied, and the questions this time too were from NCERT itself. But based on my perception, this is solely based on what I noticed, the questions on 19th were a little bit trickier than what they were on 15th. I can't say this with 100% surety because I had different subjects on both the days, but I feel like there were more direct questions on 15th than there were on 19th. So all the best to people who got their exams in August. My advice for the domain subjects will be study as much as you can from NCERT itself. They won't ask anything outside of it. No matter how hard it gets, it won't be from outside the book. Well, I guess that was it for my entire CUET experience. In those days, I lost so much sleep. I had my back aching like it has never before. I can never study or do anything at all in case I have a headache. But I had a headache in those days, and I did somehow still manage to study. But at the end, it was all worth it. And I'm so glad it's over and I'm not stuck in this till August. Well, if you have any questions about CUET that you think I can answer, then please leave them down in the comments below. I'll definitely respond to all of them. And I hope that you all are satisfied with your exams whenever they are, because that's the ultimate goal, right? And yes, I guess that's it. I'll see you again in another video that will be coming out really soon because now I'm free as a bee. So stay tuned and see you. Bye.